A song about Nick goes. Ellie clicking his DJ YouTube show, cause he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch. Song about Nick Spinner quitting his DJ YouTube show because he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch. You, cause he is a bitch. Necking up down out of people if they know you like a new to lose. You can get nowhere up and staying alive because the world he quitting his DJ YouTube show. Because he is a bitch like Mauer, they'll never really you can't do. Because he is a bitch. Because he never think about next step. Because he is a bitch. And to stay alive. Because he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch. You, cause he is a bitch. Making outbound out of people if they know you like a new to lose. You've been getting nowhere up and staying alive. Here's the world he quitting his DJ YouTube show. Because he is a bitch like a power they'll never really you can't do. Because he is a bitch. Because he never think about next step. Because he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch. You, cause he is a bitch. Knocking outbound out of people if they know you like a news to lose. You've been getting nowhere up and you're staying alive. Here's a world he quitting his DJ YouTube show. Because he is a bitch like a power they'll never really you can't do. Because he is a bitch. Because he never think about next step. Because he is a bitch.
What's up, everybody?
Because he is a bitch. Because he is a bitch.
All right, that's enough of that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the DJ Shit Show. Excited to have you all here. Now, there might have been a little confusion in the chat. That was not about my guest. That was aimed at Nick Spinelli for quitting his show. Quitting his show because he's a bitch. And I'm calling him out right now. Now, I know this seems a little counterproductive. Aaron, aren't you squashing beef today? Squashing beef? Starting new beef. All right, let's get down to it. All right, we all know that Nick didn't quit. He was canceled. They came after his ass and he's done. Couldn't handle the pressure of a weekly DJ show. Oh, it's so much work getting on the internet and just talking shit for an hour. Come on, Nick. You can keep it going. What are we doing here? That's fine. I'm taking Tuesdays too. Tuesdays are mine also. I got Tuesday and Wednesday. I ain't even going to stream on Tuesday. I'm just saying it's mine. So none of you bitches out there better start a stream on Tuesdays because it's mine. Look, I love it. I messaged him as soon as I saw it. I was like, bro, what are you, just trying something new. And the deal is, and I'm going to talk to Justin about this too when I get him on. It's a grind creating content. It's a lot of work. It's almost a full-time job. And then you got to try to create something that's interesting. And I got to tell you that most people aren't accomplishing that. And you could tell it's hard to stick out. It's hard to create something that's fun, engaging, but then also not burn yourself out in doing it. And it got me thinking, because I was even thinking about this too a couple weeks ago. I was like, how long do I want to do this thing? How long do I want to do this show? And what I'm thinking about doing, and I'll throw this out there, and I'll ask Justin what his opinion is too, but I think I'm going to start running this just during wedding season. And then once we get to the end of wedding season, like towards the middle of October, I think that's when most people start wrapping up, we'll have a little season finale. And then I'll end the show and we'll come back next year and then we'll do it again. You know, almost like a TV show. I want you to miss me, right? I think some of the problems with YouTube analysts or people will tell you like, consistent, you got to do it all the time. But then I feel like if you're always there, man, no one's gonna miss you. And they'll be like, I missed that one. I'll come back later on. I'll come back. Let me say hi to some people. Shots fired. Shots fired. Let me move that over there. There we go. Let me back up here and just see what everybody's talking about here. We'll say hi to people. That's right. That's right, Frankie. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight. It's going down. Let's see. Oh, my guy here always giving me. This is how I keep you on the hook, my guy. Because I'm gonna keep you on until I never do it. I will do that eventually. Nathan, what's up, bro? I should have worn a polka. Yeah, I should have put on my Tommy Bahama. I got to do some Tommy Bahama shopping anyways to get ready for the cruise. I almost bought one. The fam and I were on vacation last week, and I almost bought my first cruise shirt. It was obnoxious. It had like ice cream cones on it, and it buttoned down like right here. Like, I just want to look as BGs as I can on this thing. I'd love to get a real pointed out collar and have that rolling. Aaron, what's up, bro? Chad, what's up? Hey, my boy Jack is here. Jack, what's up, buddy? If you haven't already, go back and watch a show with him. I had him on a couple weeks ago. Okay. So one thing I just want to mention today too, and then I'm going to bring Justin on, is I am putting together a mini rig for the purpose of that is for multiple locations. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely end up in some venues where dance is in one room and then they have dinner in another room. And the thing is with dinner is it's one of the most important parts because during dinner is where you do the speeches and where you have music playing. So it's definitely not a phone-in situation because the two times I stress out the most during a wedding, during the ceremony, I just want that shit done. I just want it over with. Everything works. I have stuff that works. And we're going to talk about these microphones, by the way, because I got to find out how these are working. But I want that done. And then the other thing is during speeches, during, the event, I just want to make sure, like, hey, can everyone hear it? Because you have people that aren't used to talking on the mic. So I needed, like, a mini rig that I can take into these rooms, plug into a good speaker. So I bought another QST Touch Mix because I cannot live without that mixer. One of the things that holds me back from these mini rigs is I don't have the mixer because it's built into my DJ booth now, which is nice because everything's plugged in. So I bought a new one, and then guys, check this shit out. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen by doing this, and you guys should be able to see it too. Have you guys seen this thing? This Mixtor Pro portable performance 4-deck all went by Reloop, and they worked with Laidback Luke to get this thing going. This shit is awesome looking. So it's basically Laidback Luke, I've watched his videos on it. He will DJ festivals with this thing. And right away you probably look at that and go, well, you can't DJ on that. It has everything you need except for the jog wheels. And then I was worried about, what about nudging? And, I don't scratch much during a wedding anyways, but can I nudge? Yes, you can nudge. Look at this thing. It's the Reloop Mixtor Pro. So I ordered it. And my plan is to include this within my QSC Touch Mix with my laptop and then a wireless mic. And that's going to be my little mini system. Bro, look at this shit. So it's got performance pads, high pass, low pass. It has effects, paddles. They put paddles on it. It has stem separation. Stem separation. So let's see. How do you do that? Okay, so stem separations are in the EQ knobs. So basically, they built this thing to work with DJ Pro. But I reached out. It will work with Virtual, and it should work with Serato. I don't know if you'll get all the features in Serato, but I know you will in Virtual. If you hit this little N button, this is the DJ Pro's version of, turning on the stems. And once you tap that, then the high, mids, and lows all become stem knobs. So the vocals are right here, the melodies and the music's right there, and the drums are there. So you can stem out by just hitting a button. I got it for $500, which is very fair. Very fair. I mean, it's metal. The features that it has, you can so we can do hot pads, you can do loops. It has its in and out loop buttons right here, so you push those in and out. It has the sync button. So what? Sync button will be useful with that situation. Look at these paddles though. Look at this thing. What do you think? I know, right? Alex is on board. Dude, this I'm telling you. I think this is going to be a banger of a controller. I don't know. Here's the only drawback. The only drawback so far that I saw from it is its RCA outs. I would have liked to have XLRs out. But I'm guessing once you start doing that, then you're up in the price. So then it would probably jump to 700. It's powered. It's all USB-C. Thank you. Moving forward, all USB-C. So it's a USB-C to power it, and then the USB-C that you go right to your laptop. Then you just hook it up. You plug it right in. It knows you have it. Full control. Look at this thing. Why not the iPad? As part of the mini system? I'll tell you why. Good question. I've done that. I've used the iPad in another room. But I don't know. I like to have physical knobs. I just feel like I use the iPad for ceremony, but that's not a big deal. You're fading up, you're fading down. I use DJ Pro for ceremonies. But during the dinner and during the Grand March, sometimes I mix during the Grand March. I like to have the wedding party song maybe like mix into the couple songs, or I'll stem it out, or I'll echo it out, or whatever. I don't want to just like push play on those. And there's just something about having physical buttons that's just getting me super, super excited about this little guy. And I don't know if this ends up replacing, my regular controller. Can you DJ fully off of this? Here you go. Here are your outs. Left and right RCA. There's the USBs. There's the power. That's it. Portable. It's tiny. It's a little guy. So it's a controller with the jog wheels. Yes. Yes. And it doesn't have pitch bend either. It doesn't have but there's a way by hitting the shift. So what I saw in the videos is if you want to manually go that way, pitch up, then if you hit the shift button and then these two buttons right here, like the play and the cube, that turns those into, so if you tap it, you'll see your BPMs go up. So it'll go like that, so you can do that. You can also nudge on it by doing another shift one. Oh, yeah. Why not? Because because I'll tell you why. Good question. Why? Because everything's in virtual. And then that means I have to prep two different softwares to use this. And I just don't want to do that. I prep one laptop. It has all of my music. All my crates are built. Once you switch over to another software, and that's been the thing, I have to build two different experiences for most weddings. Reception and the requests are all in virtual. And then when I want to do the ceremony, I use DJ Pro. So I load all those songs into iTunes or music, and then I sync it up to my library, and then it all shows up in there. So I have to do that anyways. Microphone, no, I don't think there's no microphone inputs in this. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but what I would do with the mic, I have a Sennheiser G4 that I'm just gonna hook up to the QSD Touch Mix. And the reason why I gotta have the Touch Mix is the iPad control, the feedback suppression, which works perfectly. The anti-feedback is just amazing. But the ability that I can leave my DJ booth, walk around with my iPad, and EQ the room or up the volumes by there is just a feature that I can't live without. I gotta have it. So anytime I'm doing a gig and I don't have the Touch Mix, I miss that thing. I miss it. So microphone will get plugged directly into the QSD Touch Mix, and then I'll go Touch Mix out into an XLR that I'll plug in either into the Maui or into the RCF J8s, which I took them out this weekend, and I'm telling you, the Mauis sound better. The J8s are louder, but they're just so goddamn harsh. I want to put earplugs in when I'm doing that shit. Yes, I did. I seriously considered going with that 12T. And it also has Bluetooth. I was like this close to pulling trigger. It's cheaper also. And the reason why I did it is because I know the touch mix so well, and I feel like why have two different systems and then have to remember like, oh yeah, where's that on this one? If I just trying to keep it simple, trying to keep it simple. One app, one mixer to rule them all. I don't know. I think this yeah, I know. It did. I'm telling you, I was super close to pulling the trigger on that one as well. It looked pretty cool, but decided let's just stick with the QSC. And I found it. I found it for about $750. So I got a little bit cheaper as well. All right. Well, as I build that thing, I'll make some videos on that as well. Now, it's time to bring on my guest. Before I bring on my guest, though, let's do a little refresher course. I'm going to show you what led to this beef, motherfucker. I'm going to tell you what, how we ended up here, how we ended up at this point in time. Well, we got to squash this beef. I pushed the wrong goddamn button. All right, here we go. About 11 months ago, I put this video out, everybody. The beard's looking a little thick. This is I can't do a thick beard like that. It looks like I got no fucking chin. So, anyways, I put this video out, and then let's just have a little recap of what led us here. That's what led us here. That's what led us here. Everybody, put your hands together at first if you can. Here he is. Let's squash this beef. Justin, the DJ. What's up, motherfucker? Well.
What's up, baby? How we doing?
Have you ever
People
had
in the chat were saying they couldn't hear anything from that video, bro.
Oh, no. They couldn't hear it? You couldn't hear it either? Oh,
you got to read the chat, bro.
I was. Can you hear me at least? Oh, wait, let's see. Why did that not play? I guess I don't know why they didn't play.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear. You can't hear it. They couldn't hear it. Ah, fuck. You couldn't hear it either? Why is that not? Let's see.
Nah. I can hear it through your headphones.
Oh, so it's like a barely through?
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
So funny. Let me see if I can, hang on. Let me see if I can, well, you know what happened. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We know what happened. Basically what happened was you saw I said the DJI mic came out. You put that video out, again, almost a year ago. And then I hit you up on Instagram, and then you left me on red. And then the rest is history. The rest is history. Explain yourself, because here we are. Here we are. You're on the show.
We're here, baby.
Let's talk about let's talk about those mics, and then we'll talk about why you blew me off. Now I know that I can't imagine, bro. What's your inbox look like right now? What's your inbox?
Stupid. It's always stupid. Always stupid. Like people just asking questions or people replying to stories or all these things. And I got like DM automation too. So like when somebody like wants a link to something, they can send a message like under the post or something. And then like a bot sends them a DM. And so then they reply to the DM and all this and that. So like it just gets out of hand. So like sometimes like I get so many messages that are like, you know, like on the business side of Instagram, they have like the hidden like section too. So I have to like go through like 10 different types of inboxes to like see everything. And sometimes I'm good about it, and I'll go and I'll turn on the unread filter and I'll just go through and just spam reply at once. And then,
Copy,
you know,
paste.
Sometimes, yeah, like I just got, well, not copy paste, but like I'll just go through and someone's got a question about this and I'll just like write a little quick response. But like sometimes it's tough, you know, sometimes it's tough. And that's just kind of like what happened, you know, like you sent me a message about the DJI microphones and you're all like, hey man, I want you to come on the show, this and that. Like, and you mentioned this before the show, like we've never met before. We've never talked before. I get people asking from time to time to like, hey, come onto my podcast, hey, come onto my show, hey, come on, do this and that. And I'm just like, I can't do this with everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so like it was just one of those situations where it's like, okay, some random guy is asking me to be on a show. And that's not to say anything about you, bro, but like we said before, like we've never talked before. This is literally this show right now is the first time that we've had a conversation. So
First time.
it's just kind of how it worked out, you know, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm glad that we're here on the show. We could talk about the mics. We can talk about how I'm dead to you and all this kind of stuff. And we can just kind of roll with it.
You're
You know what I
building
mean?
it back up. You were doing all right until you started talking about how you never heard of me before. And then that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not gonna lie, the ego took a little hit there. And this is a very ego-driven show, bro. This is all about me. No, I'm just giving you shit. So that's what. So I just got lost. I just got lost in the fold, in the invites, and it just went wild. And all of a sudden, so how did you find out that this was even a thing? Tell me. You told me earlier, but tell everybody else what happened.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but someone sent me a DM about something. And I was in one of those times where I'm like cleaning the inbox, looking for inquiries and this and that. And he like asked me a question or something. I respond to him. And then I just see the message before that. He sent me something in like October and he's like, hey, did you see this video about you? And I was like, wait, how did I miss this? So I click the link, takes me to the video about the DJI microphones, and then there it goes. It's like, yo, this guy left me on red. He's dead to me. And I'm like, shit, man, I pissed this guy off. Like, what the hell? And so I went through the comments because I wanted to just see like what's going on in there.
Was
and
it real
like,
hate? Was it real hate or not? Right?
No, it's not real hate. If you want to see real hate, look at my actual fucking Instagram comments. But like, it's just, it was one of those things where like I just saw them commenting, and then one of your like responses to the comment was like, I'll give him till 2025. So I screenshotted it, sent it to him in a DM, and I'm all like, better late than never, baby. And then
I was laughing my ass off. I forget where I was. I think I was home, and I saw your message come through, and I looked at it, and I even looked at my wife. I go, holy shit. Well, look who it is. It only took 11 months for me to be like, Justin, look at me. Justin, I'm over here. And I got his goddamn attention, and here we are, bro. I love it. All right. So let's talk about these mics, okay? Because this is a bit of controversy. Are you aware of this? Like taking out these mics, and I'm gonna say this too. I have recently been trying them out the last couple weeks in anticipation of us having this conversation. Because in my head, I know you know what you're doing. You're not fucking around, right? So there's no way that you would put a ceremony at risk with some bullshit. So when did you talk to us? When did you start going for it, or what made you decide I'm going to try these things out, and talk to us about your experience with them?
Yeah, well, let me give you guys a little bit of clarification first. So like, I'm not a solo op DJ. I actually work for a company here in Dallas, Texas called LaForce Entertainment, right? And so we got about 35-ish DJs on our team. And so when it comes to equipment, it's got to be one of those things where it's like, it's cost effective to the point where, okay, you can afford to buy 30 sets of these things plus bonus for production or warehouse, space and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big aspect of the type of equipment that we choose. Not to say we only buy cheap shit, trust me, but that's an aspect of it, right? And so for the longest time, like, when I started DJing weddings in 2016, 2017 or so, like I had, for my ceremony setup, it was like a QSC K8 with a D1 pack, one of them or something like that. And then you plug in like your iPad or your computer or whatever, and just run your audio that way. Now, like shortly, I want to say like 2018, 2019, 2020, somewhere around then, we were having lots of problems with our Sennheiser D1s. We were having issues, getting just clear connection, 10, 20 feet away, your shit's cutting out. And it's just like, it was being such a problem for us, right? And so like our ops manager was like constantly like calling them up, be like, hey, what can we do? Like, this shit sucks. Like, how can we make this work? And they just weren't working with us. And so we wanted to
They had no
try
answers. They had no
something
answers
different.
for that problem.
No, so like from what I was told, like the issue was that when they send out like these microphone transmitters and receivers and all this kind of stuff, like they buy the channel, right? And then after like a set amount of time, they lose like the permission or they lose the exclusivity of the channel. And then the channel gets sold to somebody else, essentially, is what I was told. And
Okay.
so basically, like after a set amount of years, your microphone shit, like just it doesn't have a solo like channel. Like someone else could be using it. Like I think they said something like they sold a bunch of the channels to the government for the Air Force or something like that.
So it's
And
like an
so you're over
airline
here
that
trying to,
it's like an airline
yeah,
that overbooks your flight. And you're just like showing
oh,
up like, all right,
exactly.
I'm in C2. Like, no, we gave her sorry, you don't
Nah,
have to.
bro.
What the fuck?
No, we sold that shit. No,
Yeah.
that's basically what I was told was kind of what was going on. And so we were just like, okay, well, what other options can we do that isn't going to make our shit obsolete next month
Right.
after we buy these brand new microphones? And we heard some good things about some of those like Bluetooth microphones, some of the nicer ones. Like we had a bunch of those Rode microphones. We got some of the DJIs when they came out. And we had some good luck. So like at first we ended up buying probably 10 or 20 pairs of those Rode microphones, right? I'm just sure you've seen the Rodes. They're very similar to the DJIs. We had a bunch of those. We handed out to a bunch of our DJs. We're like, try these out. Like, try them out at your events. And I know you're over here like you're saying like, oh, you're gonna practice your DJ equipment on somebody's wedding, but like to the extent of like, okay, you got to be smart about it. It's
Mhm.
not gonna be like as strong of a microphone like a Sennheiser pack or something like that.
But
So
you
like
also
when
weren't
I'm
unboxing it at the event. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys had them
oh
out
no, no,
in the
no.
garage. See, that's the thing that people are like, oh yeah, I'm sure you just unwrapped it and just plucked it onto the efficient. Like, I hope this works. Like, there's no way you guys did that. You know?
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
We opened them up. I mean, whenever we get new equipment, a lot of times we'll have a meeting. Like we'll bring all the DJs over. We all come to the warehouse. We're like, all right, guys, this is some new gear that we're gonna pass out to some of our guys. We want to show you how to use it, how to hook it up, how to troubleshoot it, this and that. So like, of course, do some stuff like that. And then test it out and see how it goes. And I had some decent luck with the Rhodes. I noticed that with the Bluetooth microphones that you can't get too far away. And whenever I watched your video, that was one thing that I did notice was that you were really, really, really far for what those microphones are. Now that's not to say like your other microphone can't handle it, of course, but like they're different price points, they're different types of microphones. They're doing they're doing the same thing but like in different aspects. So we can talk a little bit about how I kind of set it up to kind of make it to where I'm not having any issues at all and I feel confident about my microphone setup and my entire like ceremony setup that I used in that video that I talked about like a year or so ago. I still use it today and honestly it makes me feel less stressed about the ceremony because there's less moving parts. It's so nice and compact. Everything's controlled through my iPad and I can just like everything's ready to go and I'm vibing, you know?
Yeah.
Like ceremony is one of the hardest parts next to your introductions for the wedding, but I feel like it's taken a lot of the stress away from the ceremony and I don't want to add more stress to the day
Exactly.
already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes when I see like those, nothing against these guys, but bring like a full rack with like 18 mics and paddles and all.
Yep.
I'm with you. I feel like, man, there's just like, it feels like there's more in the equation to go wrong. Let me tell you, you're going to get a kick out of this. So your video fucked me twice. Number one, the thing I saw you do was, and I thought was brilliant, is like you had the EV app up and you had Spotify up at the same time, or I can't remember if you had. Was that what you used, Spotify? Right.
I usually use Spotify if I can find like if they have their exact song is on Spotify, I'll just use that. But if I gotta get a custom version or something, I'll just use Apple Music or something like that.
So I tried. I'm like, this is a great idea, dual screen. So I had the EV app on one side with the Everse 8, and then I used DJ Pro. So I had DJ Pro up on the other. Now the problem with DJ Pro is it doesn't really do good on a split. You kind of got to have. Well, in order for me to get the split screen, you have to kind of go on the iPad screen and swipe over a little bit on the side.
Yep.
So I swipe over to get the DJ app on, And by doing that, I accidentally hit the sync button on the DJ Pro software. So when I played the bride song, the song in the other deck was like 85 BPMs, but hers was like 140. And so when it came on, it was like, and I'm like, what the hell? And everyone's kind of like, oh, all right. The groom starts busting out laughing. And I'm looking around like, why is this? What's going on? My song got corrupted. And I switched it over to the other deck. Same thing. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I noticed I'm like, the fader was all the way down to pitch bend. So then I just kind of like pushed it up. So it went, was missing, what a fool. And it went back to normal. And then she came down. It ended up being a big win because
Crazy.
it ended up being a big win. The mother of the groom came up. She goes, I know you think that was a mess up, but my son was so nervous up there that by that happening, it just totally relaxed him for the rest of the ceremony. So you can't
Just
beat
felt
that.
like if that's the worst thing that can happen on my wedding day, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
And it was. Everything else was 100% after that. But I mean, everybody was laughing. Even like some of the groomsmen were like, "Oh, I thought you picked some like dark ass song to walk down the aisle." And we're like, "Man, she's dark, bro." Like going with like, whoa, like they were expecting like some kind of song like that. Okay, so we do the split screen. Yeah, you were saying you're gonna give us like the settings and like how you run the mics and your first run with them. So go ahead, keep going with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple setup. So lately, I've been using the EVE verse 8, which has made it like even more, just streamlines the whole thing because you got the app that's built in, and you can connect it through Bluetooth on your iPad, or you can also hardwire it too, which also works great. So when it comes to the DJIs, I have them right here. So like they have just an aux input on there. And so you got to get an aux to dual XLR, right? So then now you have control of both your channels. So then you plug one into channel 1 on your speaker, and then one into channel 2, and now you have you can isolate the channels for both of your microphones on those DJIs. So then one's for your officiant. Channel 1 is usually for officiant for me. He's usually talking the entire time. And then when vows kick in, you turn on channel 2. I usually pin that one on the groom, and then that picks up both the bride and the groom for channel 2. And then, sometimes they might have like someone giving a reading or somebody who's going to sing. I've had singers who need my microphone. I'm like, well, shit. Okay. So then I'll just take the DJI, and you can get like these little, I don't know what you would call them, but like mic adapters. So you can literally like slide the mic, because it's got this little like hot shoe on there. So you could like slide that right onto a microphone, put a little foam cover like this on there, and it looks just like a handheld mic. And then you can just go like that.
Oh, so it's not a real, you're using that as the mic, but the handheld is just a prop almost, right?
Yeah.
For them to hold.
It literally makes it look like a handheld mic, but it's still the same thing. Like I'm still just using that mic.
When you have readers, like you said, how do you do that? So then you wouldn't be able to mic up the groom because you have the spare one on that mic. Is that what you do?
So usually what I'll do is I'll kind of gauge what's important to the couple, right? So like if I talk to the couple and they're like, okay, we're going to do your vows and this and that. And then they're like, oh, we're going to have a reading, and oh, we're going to have a singer and this and that. I'm like, okay, I just want to let you know, we got 2 microphones. One's for your officiant, and then one is for what's important to us, right? So if it's really important for you to have your singer have the microphone, this and that, I got to make it a handheld, right? So if we do that, we can still get your vows, but your vows will be on a handheld. So then it could be an instance where, okay, after the singer's done, we'll take the handheld, the officiant holds it, and then while you're doing the vows, maybe he'll like point it towards you or something like that. Or you can hold it too. Like really just kind of gauge like what they're thinking. Because I have some couples that are like, we don't give a shit. We don't care. And then some of them are all like, it has to be perfect, this and that. And that's when you pull out all the stops to make it work. So kind of gauge that with the couple and see like, okay, what are their thoughts? What's the direction they want to go in for this and that. And then I have some couples who are all like, yeah, I mean, we're just going to recite what the officiant says. So like, you really don't have to mic us. And it's just like, cool, even better kind of thing. So like, if they're not going to do any special vows at all, like they're just saying the same thing that the guys do. And so it's just like, okay, well, you're low maintenance, I'm going to be low maintenance too. So
Perfect. Yeah.
that's just
Match
kind of
their,
how
I
it
always say
works
I
with the
match your
ceremony.
intensity. If they're chill, I'll be chill. If they're like you said, like, okay, we're on it. It's gonna be about you got 14 different mics and blah blah. Blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right. So then what are your settings then? You got you got one on them. Do you use it you just pinning it on or using like any external lav at all, or just pin the DJI onto their collar?
So it depends on the application, right? So if I'm in like a super echoey church or something like that, I always use a lapel.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because the lapel is a better microphone than the physical one on the DJI. And you can kind of make it a little more, I don't know the word, but like this is a shotgun mic, and then the other one is just like a lapel. Obviously, everybody knows what I'm talking about. But
Yep.
when it comes to that, like I feel like it's a little better on like preventing a little more of the feedback when it comes to the lapel versus the shotgun mic on there. And so I'll usually rock it that way. I'll have a lapel, and you got to be really careful about which lapel you're using for the DJI, because I actually did some research on this. And because I had the Rode mics before, the Rode Go 2s, I think is what it's called, and those come with lapels, right? And so when I got the DJIs, I was testing it out, and the lapels on the DJI, I was literally getting like feedback, or not feedback, but like I was like shit was cutting out like really bad. And I'm like, what's going on? Like these brand new microphone, like why is it cutting out on me? And it's because the microphone for the Rode Go 2s are not compatible with the DJIs. And from what I understand in my research was that those microphones create an additional antenna to the DJIs and picks shit up.
Whoa.
And I was like, what the fuck?
The lapel with like an
What?
1/8-inch end, it's got an 1/8-inch end on it, right?
I don't know why. But like you plug in the Rode lapel into a DJI and it will cut out. It will sound terrible. But then I think they were like Shure microphones, and they sound great, no problems at all. I think I found like a YouTube video of a guy like testing all these lapels with the DJI microphone, and he was like, "Don't fucking do this. Don't get the Rhodes with the DJIs. Use the Shure instead, or use these other ones." And I was like, "All right, you sold me, bro. I'm buying the Shures with your Amazon link and stuff." So I bought it, and everything works great. And then I haven't had any issues since. That was the only time I had issues, right when I got it, and it was because the mics just don't work with it. And after that, it's been awesome. So
isn't that crazy? Some things that you don't even think of, like, oh great, this will be compatible because it's got the same hookup. I'll just plug it in, and then, like I said, more problems. Every time you solve a problem, new problems. And then I'm with you, bro. Anytime something going on, I go right to YouTube or Reddit. All right, how do I fuck this up? I gotta find out how do I solve this problem. So these are your go-tos, and they're all right, guys. You heard it here. We heard it here. They're working. I've been using mine right now. I have like a little stand that I provide for the officiants so they can put their notes on, because I usually do a handheld. And then I've been sticking it with the magnet onto the end, because that's a magnet, onto the end of the podium to pick up the bride and groom whenever the officiant forgets to hold the microphone over to them, which they do. Doesn't that drive you nuts? Where they're like, "Do you, Maggie, take Richard to be your like, fuck, God, we don't want to hear you. We want to hear them. What are you doing?" So like that, I tried that out the last couple weeks, and then I kind of have it on to capture like their laugh, or if they make snarky comments or whatever. Now the whole crowd gets to hear. So your groom mic here picks up the bride pretty well as well.
Yeah, it picks it up pretty good. Like you gotta crank it up just a little bit, and then you gotta be careful with the feedback, of course, and the echo of the room and stuff like that. I forgot to mention too, because the DJI has the shotgun mode, so like it has a physical like microphone pickup right on it. And so like if I'm doing like an outdoor wedding, then I'll use the shotgun, because then I feel like it picks up a little more, and then I don't have to worry about the feedback and stuff like that. And also I only use the shotgun mic when it's windy. I forgot to mention. Because it also comes with this little like those little like
cat
fuzzy covers, the dead cat, yes, little fuzzy cover on there, and then I'll use it like that, and so I'll clip it onto them, or I'll throw it in their pocket, or hide it behind their tie and stuff like that. And I feel like it sounds better with the wind resistant cover on there when it's windy outside, like that versus a lapel microphone.
It's
And
true.
so those are kind of the two applications that I'll use it in, depending on the situation that I'm
And I
in for
love that
that
it
wedding.
came with two, and they work. I've had the dead cat on mine twice in a really windy situation, and nothing. You can't hear any of that. It really does a good job of taking that off. When you put it on the groom and they walk back up to wherever, do you worry about that? Even though it walks out of the sight, when they come back and they get back in line of sight, they connect okay, no problem.
Every
They pick
time.
them every
Every
time.
time, because I've had that problem before with other microphones,
Same.
where like they leave and they come back, or I noticed that it's when and I had a officiant do this to me one time. He comes in for a sound check, everything's great, he's all good. I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna leave it on you. We're gonna be chilling. We're all good. And it was one of those wedding venues, it was a hotel, and it was like multiple stories, and like okay, the ceremony's on the rooftop, and then he goes like 10 floors down and goes to the bathroom and this and that. So it's not like I can like meet up with him before, because he like just shows up and walks right into the ceremony. So did our sound check, everything's good. Apparently homie had to take a pee, right? So he's
Mhm.
go to the bathroom and he turns it off. He turns it off while he's peeing. And so
Because he didn't want the naked gun thing to happen
yeah,
to him.
he's all like, okay, well, I don't want people to hear me pee. I don't know if it's
Right.
recording this. I get it. I totally get it. I get why he did it. But because he turned it on after he's peeing 10 floors down, he rolls up to the ceremony, and like, because this venue is so weird, because they line everyone up like on the fourth floor of the hotel or in the lobby, and the ceremony is on the rooftop. So when people are about to go down the aisle, they start downstairs, and then they take the elevator, and the elevator doors open up right at the altar. So it's not like I
Oh
could
my
walk up
God.
to the officiant and say like, let me check your mic real quick, because
Make sure it's
that was
good.
my only option, was the sound check at that point. So when he turned it off and turned it back on the lobby floor 10 floors away, it didn't connect, because you have to turn it on when you're close by. And so he comes up and he's all like, who gives this woman? No one can hear him. And I'm
Oh,
just
you're like,
fuck my, there's literally nothing I could do other than literally walking up to him during the ceremony, turning it off and back on again. And I wasn't gonna do that. And so he just looks at me, and I'm just like, speak up. Just like, just yell, just
it's
start
not on
yelling.
you, bro. It's on you now,
It's
bro.
like, there's nothing I could do. I can't do anything now. We're shit out of luck. So
Oh my God. And that's the moment, right? You're like, oh, that will never fuck it. And that's happened
and
to
I will
me
never
where
make that mistake again. And
Yeah.
you know,
my
I
officiant
always
walked
check it
up the
now.
hill. He walked up the hill. I left everything on him. I was like, great sound check. He walked up the hill, and then he came back, and then he came down the aisle. And what was worse is that I think being out, I don't know what's worse, out or ever it up in a minute. I was like, what the hell? It was beautiful. Well, you guys weren't here during sound check. You almost want to look at the crowd like, guys, during sound check, it was beautiful. He sounded rich. He sounded deep. It sounded so good. This ain't my fucking fault. And it's always our fault. They look over, and that's their memory. The memory of everybody.
Yep.
And those future brides, they walk out going, whatever happens in my life, I don't want that to happen at my thing. And that's why I think guys are nervous about, and I don't know so much about the 2.4 gigahertz. I'm not like a scientist, so I don't understand all that. But I do know that like Wi-Fi and the phones and all that stuff, I mean, could I guess be an issue, but you're right. Your distance is okay as long as you're not. And in my video, I think I looked farther than I was because I was probably about, probably like 100 feet away, maybe that up on the hill.
Mm.
Would you say that kind of pushes it? Where would you like? Where's the sweet spot for you?
For sure. For sure. So like with the you know, the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, I don't even know what it runs on these stupid things, but like when it comes to those
We'll be told in the
microphones,
chat.
like,
don't
you gotta
worry. We'll be correct. We will be
perfect. Somebody
corrected
tell
in the
me.
chat. Somebody.
I always
smarter
think
than
it's
us
like
tell us.
Bluetooth or something stupid, but you know,
It's not
I always
Bluetooth.
try to keep it a little closer. I usually try to keep it a little closer. I try not to go towards the back of the aisle of the ceremony. I try to get a little more closer. I think the sweet spot is usually about halfway down the aisle or even near the front. So like you got your wedding party on each side. I'll probably be like 10 feet off from that wedding party, and that way there's hardly any, you know, from the line of sight from the transmitter to the receiver, how many cell phones are going to be in the wedding party and this and that, you're really only working with, you know, the groom might have one on him, maybe if he's stupid. But the officiant might have his on him. So you're really just like competing with the one versus
Yeah.
the 300 that are from the back to the front. I have had an issue in the past with cell phones with these microphones before. It was actually with the Rode. I remember doing a sound check with the officiant, putting the speaker up, everything sounded great, and then I told him, I was like, okay, cool. Oh, you're doing your ceremony with an iPad, right? So I always take a look at what they're working with. He's got an iPad. I'm like, all right, can you just put it on like airplane mode or something like that? Because like he shouldn't need the internet while he's doing his ceremony and this and that. So he put it on airplane mode. Everything's good to go. I don't have to worry about it. Homie decides to take a cell phone, put it right in his pocket next to the thing, and that was it.
Oh.
That was it. It didn't work. It didn't work. I literally, like, mid ceremony, he comes in, he starts talking, it's cutting out, and I'm just like, I know exactly what he did. And so
You
I
see
can
him do it
literally
too,
see
you're like,
I can see the phone outline in his jacket. So it's like in there,
"Get your
like
phone
right
out,
on it.
guy!" Yeah, get it
I'm
out.
just like, whatever. So I'm like, I'm in the back. I literally am picking this speaker up, and you just see Justa just walk in with this giant speaker. I'm getting closer. I'm trying to get close. I'm trying not to make noise and thus. And I get to the very front as close as I possibly can. It's still not working, and I'm just all like, motherfucker. So now from this point on, I'm just like, hey, you got a phone? Put it in your car. Or like, give it to me. Like, do something. Like, no phones up on the ceremony.
So even
like,
with the
all it
DJIs, you
takes is
worry
that
about
one
that
guy.
happening. You worry about that with the.
It hasn't happened with me on the DJIs. That only
But it's a
happened to me
possibility.
on the roads.
Okay.
But it could. It definitely could. So I always try to take those precautions. Like, I know the benefits of the microphone I use, and I also know the downfalls. So like being able to kind of mitigate the downfalls to make it to where I do my job right, and that's what they pay us for, not just, you know, us running audio, this and that, but the service too, you know, like
Yeah.
making sure everything works out great. So trying to mitigate those downfalls of what the mics aren't as strong at, and then, you know, trying to make it work as best as you can. So
Well,
that's
you
what it's
heard it
all
here,
about.
guys. Let me know in the chat what you're thinking. I know some of you guys mentioned like those Comicas. There's like there's some different brands like the Hollylands or something, and then the other ones they're slightly less expensive. And I worry. I know the DJIs are about $250, almost $300, which feels a little bit better. It's the all right. So DJ Dell's asking which ones it's the newest ones, right? Or didn't they just?
So
release
I
a
have
brand-
the old ones. So I got the DJI. They're just called DJI microphones. This is what they look like. And this is just the version 1. They had a version 2 come out maybe a couple months ago. I think it's like $100 more. I don't know what benefits the version 2 has. I know they look nicer, but I don't know what they've done to make them a better microphone. But
So you guys haven't upgraded to them at all? No one's grabbed those at all?
No, we might have bought a couple of them, but I mean, these just work so great. I don't know why I need to upgrade. Maybe I need to do research and see like, ooh, is it? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what's so good about them? Like, is it even worth upgrading from the 1 to
Now
the 2? Just like if you have
2,000
an
feet.
iPhone.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like if you have like an iPhone 15 right now and they're about to drop a new iPhone next week, should I buy it if I have the 15? I need the 16, right? It's like, well, is it really an upgrade? So I just need to look into it. So
All right. Yeah, let me know, guys, what you guys think. Testing them out. You know, I like the idea of something being on the groom. I haven't had that as an option before, so I think for sure I'm gonna try them. I have Jack says he has the version 2. I think they have better noise cancellation. Do you
Okay.
notice that on the ones you have, or is there a built-in noise cancellation?
I
or
actually,
use the
let
Eversync?
me see. I actually don't know if it has noise cancellation. Let me see.
Also,
It's got
dude, what's your gain
stereo,
set on
receiver
the
gain.
receiver? What's your gain set on your receiver too? I'm curious.
Yeah, I can look at it.
Okay.
There's a couple things you can change. So I got receiver gain. I have that just as 0.
Okay.
And then I think it's in transmitter settings. Transmitter gain 0 and 0. I just leave it on 0 and then I adjust it on the speaker itself.
Okay.
But it has the other things on here too. Like you can add like a low cut on here. You can obviously record straight onto it. All those kind of things. Wait, what is this? Volume. Oh, that's headphone volume, but I don't use the headphones. So it has two outputs. So it has like an out, and then it has another one where you can like basically just like hear what's going on. So you can adjust the volume of your headphone output. And then you can also switch it to stereo or mono, which is kind of cool.
Smash that
But,
like
I
button
mean-
right now if you guys are having a good time and you're enjoying yourself. There's about 70 people here. Let's get that up to 25. Let's get that up to 25. Smash it for Justin. All right, let's do this. I want to do a little would you rather. I'm going to we'll go for like another 10 minutes. Is that all right, bro? I don't want to keep you on too long. You got stuff going on. Can you do another 10 or what? Does that work?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it,
All
bro.
right. Let's do a little would you rather. I'm just going to fire off some would you rather situations and tell me what you think. All right, would you rather have your laptop crash or forget a key piece of gear at your house and you can't get it?
Laptop crash or leave a key piece of gear. Like laptop crash like mid first dance or
Yes,
middle of
and
your
it-
set.
It's crashed and dead. Like it's done.
Oh, it's done. Oh,
It's done.
I'd rather forget the cable and have to drive back to my house or something.
Well, hold on a second.
You know?
Let me. You can't give you a cable. Fuck that cable. A whole speaker. So somehow your assistant just forgot to load it in the trailer, and you're like, all right, bring the speakers out. Like, oh, we don't have it. We don't have a left speaker, bro. What? No left. So no left speaker or your laptop just completely crashed and it's kaput.
Okay, so I might be a little biased here because, like I said before, I work for a multi-op. We have a whole production and this and that. So, like, if I get a speaker, it's blown. I just make one phone call, and within an hour, someone rolls up and drops off
Ah,
a speaker,
you
kind of
son
thing.
of a
So,
bitch.
it's the same thing for a laptop too. Which, you know, like if my laptop just fries, whatever, I'm just like, hey, yo, my laptop's dead. Someone send me, someone send me something, and then an hour later, someone will roll up and drop it off. So. If I were to choose, I'd probably choose my speaker blue.
Okay.
And then I'll
You
just
guys
make the
hearing
call.
this? I think we need to change your name from Justin the DJ to Justin the Diva. Oh my God, you make a phone call and you got people showing up?
Bro, okay, whatever.
I'm just fucking with
It's
you.
just how it works, bro. You know, we gotta do what you gotta do. We got tons
You know what?
of
That's
guys.
the
We got-
upside. That's the upside for sure. Having a whole, you probably don't have to do much of the booking and stuff. Are you? Is your situation where they just like, Justin, you're here. Here's your paperwork. Go kill it.
Partially, but I do have lots of communication with the couple. So like they'll, you know, maybe a planner's like, hey, you should book a DJ from our company, this and that, and then they'll talk to our salespeople and be like, okay, here's their available DJs that we have. Here's the price range, and then they're like, oh, I like this one, or I like this one, or I like these three, and then they can interview all of them like at the same time. They could put them all on like a hold for like a week or two while they're thinking about it. They could talk to all their guys. They could pick who they want when they pick their DJ. That's their person.
Wait. Is that like that old dating show where somebody's like there and there's like three bachelors, like DJ number one. Let's say that my microphone. And you have to give an answer like, okay, if I'm a meal, how are you eating me?
Oh,
you know,
no.
like,
It's not like that. Like they'll just do like a separate Zoom call, you know.
Yeah, but I
and
love
I
that
hate
idea,
it when
though.
I hate it when couples do that because like it's really at the end of the day, it's really just about for them. It's like, okay, who do we like the most and who's the cheapest? You know,
mhm.
when they do that, and it's just like, just pick somebody, buddy. Like, come on, stop wasting my time. I know
Right.
I'm gonna jump on this call, and we got lots of DJs on our team, and I usually they'll tell me like who the other DJs are going against, and I'm just like, oh, they're gonna book them. Like they're gonna book them. He's more attractive than me. He's a better talker than I am. This and that.
Oh,
And
so you're
like, just
competing
book
against
him
your own
already.
team. You're competing against
Yeah.
your own team. So you're okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. And then if they get it, then you don't work that weekend. Is that kind of how it goes?
No, because there's so much work to go around. Like we're all gonna get booked eventually. I just won't get that one.
Who
know?
keeps out? Okay, is there somebody on your team that just like fuck? You know, like oh, they're interviewing Brad. You're like, oh, Brad, god damn it! Like, is there someone on your team that you just know like I can't fucking
Yes.
beat this guy?
Yes, all the time. All the
That's-
time. We got a
that's
couple on
funny.
our team. Like I swear to God, if I go against like Dom Nagella, you guys might know Dom Nagella from our team at LaForce. He lives out here in Dallas. But like if they're like, oh yeah, this couple's talking to you and Dom, and I'm just like, fuck. They're gonna pick Dom. They're gonna pick
Tell them
Dom.
my
every
Instagram.
time.
Send them to my Instagram. Tell them, look at how many views I got. Look at my views. Look at my views. Speaking of that, we'll get back to Would You Rather. What was your first viral video? And then what was the reaction? What was your reaction to it? Or like, how did that go down?
First viral video.
Or like, I would say like one that hit like, I mean, honestly, I don't know. What do you consider viral? I would say like once you get into the hundreds of thousands of views, but nowadays, I mean, you probably got to hit 1 million, right? Is that a viral, or what would you consider viral?
I would consider like if it hits 200K, in my
Okay.
opinion, like 200K is viral, because at that point now I'm reaching people, or I'm reaching more people than I have followers. So then it's like, okay, now it's like really pushing out there. I would say like if your videos are getting more views than you have people following you in general, and like it's still showing it to people, like then you're doing great. Like you got a good video on your hands, and then you should really look into that video and try and do something similar, or try to keep it going. And that'll kind of help you kind of, get an audience out there. People.
Let me throw this out there. Maybe you give me some advice. I recently had one pop, and it was it surprised the hell out of me. It's almost at 2 million right now on Instagram.
Really?
And, yeah. And all I did was make a video. I filmed myself up against the wall, and I pointed to it with the drumstick, and I literally said, "This is the perfect wedding ceremony timeline." And I put "Hot to Go" on it, right? So I figured, well, let me put a trendy song on it. And it was like, after it hit 5,000 views, I'm like, oh, that's actually, and then it hit 10, I was like, oh shit, and then 100,000, and then boom. So I'm like, all right, well, let me do another one. So I had an idea. I upped the production value. So that one, I just used I had my hand, and I filmed myself and whatever. I didn't even comb my hair. I just fucking shot it. Second one, I put a little bit more effort. I used my Osmo Pocket 3. I had my wife film it. I put, I cut it, I edited it, I put it out. Didn't even do it. It just was like, it was very similar. Like, bro, like similar. There's like, how to not be an asshole guest. And did the same thing and blah, 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 blah. And then it just kind of was like, okay, and bam, done. So is that how it goes too? Right? You sort of like, even if you try to emulate the formula, it's just no guarantee, right?
There is no guarantee. There's been plenty of times where like there's a type of video that I could make, and I'm just like, oh, it works every time, works every time, works every time, and then it stops working, and then you're like, oh shit, like there's just a lot of things that go along with it. People feel like they've seen it before. Like if you're doing lots of mixing videos at weddings or at your house and this and that, and you're like, you're making the same video over and over again. Like it kind of can turn into a thing where like I've already seen this one. I think like you haven't, but it looks very, very similar to something you've watched before. So that could be an aspect of it. But like when it comes to that, like your comparison of like your old video that went off and the new one that didn't go off, I think it could be a factor of like who's sharing it. Because I think that was the reason why your first video blew up, was because here's the perfect wedding timeline. So then, planners are sending it to their upcoming brides that they're trying to convince this is the best timeline, or vice versa. The bride's like, ooh, planner, what do you think about this? Or, bridesmaids that are helping their sister get married is sending it over to this. So that kind of video, I could see like how it would like send it. You could send this from people to people, and that can really like catapult a video.
It was short too, like 15 seconds long. It was a short bam, 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 done. You're right.
Yep.
I think you're right. The shares were insane on it. And I noticed like the new one I had, it wasn't getting shared as much, or bookmark. Like the bookmarks are insane on that one. It was like almost 30, 40,000 bookmarks and like 30,000 shares or whatever. So that's a good point. Is it shareable? Is it something where you see it and you're like, oh, I want more people to see this thing?
I want my friend to see, like I see all the time, like I'll see some stupid video and I send it to my friend Tony, or I'll send it to DJ Demand or something like that. And it's just like our DMs are constantly just us sending each other videos. And your goal like is to try and make your video one of those videos that someone else is sending. Like it's one of those things where like if you post a video, one of the first things you should think about is, can I picture a stranger sending this to another stranger? Like someone I have no idea who this person is going to send it to someone I've never heard of before. And if that's the case, you might got a good video, And that's always something to strive for when it comes to
That's a good
content
tip
like
right
that.
there too. Is this something that and I think that too when I make YouTube videos and when I produce them, I'm watching it and I usually cut it down to under 10 minutes because I go, am I bored watching this? If would I want to watch this video? And if I don't think the answer is yes, or
Mhm.
I'll listen to myself. I'm like, I think I'm rambling. I cut that shit out. Even if it's important, even if it's information, I cut it out because I'm trying to like, I'm going for entertain. I want to entertain here more than anything. And if that bores me, or if I feel like it's swipeable, like it comes up and like, nope, that's hard to get into the mind. You almost have to throw stuff out there, right? And just, did something ever surprise you? Or like, oh my, why the fuck did that go off? Did anything like that ever happen to you?
Um, I'm trying to think of anything recently. I haven't had a lot of videos go off recently. Usually it's something where it's like I'm giving, something like how I was talking about the DJI microphones and the speaker. Like I posted that I was just gonna be like, oh, I'm just talking about my gear, and then everyone's like, oh shit, like that kind of video kind of was over expectation for sure. I actually had a video. I posted this like 2 weeks ago. It was a video of just my hands, like my face wasn't even in it, and it was 3 tips to make you a better DJ, and I had freaking
Oh,
AI like read it, and it was just like shitty tips. It was like make sure to use
you're
like
redlining or something, right?
YouTube to download.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, make sure you're always redlining, because if you're
You're not
redlining, that
headlining.
means your DJ skills are like really good and your transitions are flawless, kind of thing. So like that did really well, and I thought it was gonna be a good video, but it definitely did better than what I thought it was gonna do. Um,
How often do you
so
respond to
yeah,
comments too? Because I'm sure the comments on that were like, "Bro, are you fucking serious? Like, there's no way." Like, there's those guys. Like,
you
especially when you're
can't.
trying to be funny. If you're trying to be funny, you almost have to realize, I know I'm trying to be funny. It won't work with everybody because some people don't have a sense of humor and they're a dumbass. You gotta just let that one go, right? You got your
Yeah,
brain wrapped around that.
yeah. I mean, when it comes to like people talking shit, like just let them talk shit. I don't care. Because like the people that are always talking shit are the ones that aren't doing things to try and better themselves. They're just trying to take you down. So like when it comes to that, like if I have a video, I think that one has like half a million views right now. Like you can't respond to every comment. Like
Mhm.
it probably has like, I don't know, 5,000 comments on that. So you got to send 5,000 messages. Like, and I'm sure you didn't respond to every comment in your $2 million view viral video. And it's just like, you just can't. You can't.
Well,
You
they're
can
getting
respond to a
repetitive.
couple
I
important
see him
ones
and
or,
like read. I already answered that. What do you? What? And some of them are like, no, no. What was funny about that one too is the comments were like, no way, not in Portugal. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know. I was making that for the Midwest. And then Instagram was like, let's show this to the world. And then that was what was funny to me. I'm like, I can't, I wasn't meant for you. I know you guys party till 3 a.m. I know we're so lame here because you guys don't go to 11. I'm like, you weren't my audience. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden the whole world got to take a peek at it. And so you're right. You just gotta let those slide. All right, let me ask you this. We'll do a couple more would you rathers and I'll let you go. Would you rather mispronounce a couple's name on the mic or have the mic drop out during a ceremony?
I'll take the dropout.
You'll take
I'll
the
take the
drop out
dropout all day. All day.
instead of, all right, put your hands together for Murphy. And it's like, Murphy? Who the fuck is Murphy?
Because
Oh.
like you can't shift the blame on that. Like you could shift the blame on a mic dropping out. Be like, oh
That's
man,
true.
these stupid ass mics just suck. I'm just gonna pawn them off next weekend. You could like say stuff like that, but like you can't. Like, what's your excuse for saying the wrong name? Like you can't.
You're
There's
right.
no excuse. You're just
That
an
was you.
asshole. So.
I had a mic cut out once, and because it was windy, I think I've mentioned this before. And I went up to the couple. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. I think the wind blew my signal to the next town, and they laughed. And they were like, yeah, it was about to blow me off too. So I was like, phew, like you're right. You could pawn that one off. All right.
Yeah.
How about this one? Constantly, and I mean a constant flow of requests, and they're shitty. Okay, so you cannot,
Okay.
or no one's dancing.
Give me the request, bro. All day long. All day long. I'll take that. Because like when it comes to like people giving requests, you're like, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of shitty ones. You're gonna get some good ones here and there. But you know, sometimes like, you know, you could just mess with them a little bit. You know, they'll come up and be like, oh, I'll get that soon. My favorite one is like, I just straight up lie to them. Like, oh, I played that one like 3 songs ago. What do you mean, bro? Like, I just
And it
played
was a
that. That's why you were thoughting
banger.
about it. And it was so good. They were dancing so hard.
I
Like it
already
was
played
so
it.
great. I'm so sad you missed it, bro. But I could try and play it in like an hour or so when they,
Right.
you know, a little
You know what?
bit,
Not
you know.
now, but I could play it tomorrow. It's like, oh, all right, cool, man. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, what? What the hell? Um, have a long ass loaded, like elevators through the back of a kitchen, hallway, tough, tight
Mhm.
doorways, or be stuck in a corner with tables all around you.
Oh, give me the load in all day.
Okay. Tell me
Give me
why.
the load in. Because like,
Oh,
yeah,
no
it
assistant.
sucks.
No assistant. Hold on. No assistant.
I always got an assistant though.
I know you can't.
I
No, you
always
can't have
got an
one, Justin.
assistant.
You can't have one, Justin the Diva. You don't get one for this one. All right, no assistant.
My freaking booth case is too big for just one person, bro. It just won't work. It just
Won't
won't
work.
work.
How many people you take?
I'm
You
not
take
the
one.
tallest guy out here, bro. I'm not the tallest guy out there. So this case is like the same height as me, and I'm over here like,
You need some help. I need some help. I need some muscle. I tell you, I've been taking an assistant out now for like the last couple of months. It is a game changer. I can't believe how quick I can get out. I have somebody capturing content, somebody to hang out with, someone to be like, this sucks, or like, dude, this is a rager, right? It is that part of your company, or do you pay for that yourself?
so it's part of the company. So like once you're at like a certain price range, then you get an assistant that just comes with you. And that's just kind of how we do it. Just so that we can, you know, pay the bill, pay the assistant, this and that. So like for like the lower tier DJs, you know, obviously like LaForce gets a cut, they get a cut, and there's just no extra money to pay for someone to come out, especially when all they have is just a mixer, two tops, and that's it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
For me, I just bought like I just built like an audio rack, and I got the podium booth, and I got the nice facade, and I got some new speakers that are like with subs and everything. So it's just like if I got to do this on my own, I'm gonna be here forever, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And you know the client's paying X amount of money to have me come out. They want everything to look nice and sound great, this and that. And this is the equipment that I use to make that happen. And I need someone who's, you know, I just sometimes like because sometimes they'll give me someone who's never seen a DJ play before. They don't know what an XLR cable is, and I gotta like, all right, take the thing and put it in the
Right.
thing, or put this here, this and that. But like even that, like just having someone who's competent enough to know, hey, put this speaker here, put this cable there, is way more helpful than doing it on my own for
That's
sure.
true. Even if you look down, their tape job is terrible. You're like, how do we think of this, Justin? Yeah, all right. It's all right. It's all right.
You
Or-
don't let the newbie tape, bro. You don't let the newbie tape. There's a couple of things that I don't let them do, right? I won't let them. I'll let them set up the speaker. I'll let them put up the facade. I might let them put the tablecloth on the table. But I'm not going to let them route audio cables and power things and this and that and tape. Hell no. Like
That's
I'm
my
not going to
quote
let
of the
them
show.
do those
Don't let
things.
the newbie tape, bro. I fucking love. Oh Christ, I love
You're
it.
just asking for problems.
That's true. I remember the first time I had Mike do it, and he's like, "What do you think of this?" And Mike, if you're listening, you're better. You're better. But the first time it was like train tracks or something, and I was like, and you know, I was trying to like when I hired somebody, I want to make sure like explain what you're doing so they know what you want, right? And if they don't do it right, let them know. And as opposed to be like, "Oh, it's all right," and then he turns around, I'm doing it like this motherfucker.
You just
I have to do
rip
it
that
myself.
shit off.
Yeah, just rip it off. And he's like, what's going on? Like, oh, really? Train tracks? You think I want some fucking train tracks going to the wall? So now it's like, okay, yes, like sometimes he'll he'll like zip all my bags up after we unload everything. I never do that. And then like the first couple weeks I would go and I grab it, I'm like, pull it, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is everything all zipped? So you just gotta let them know like what your weird things are and what your expectations are, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just gotta let them know, because we got lots of DJs on our team. Sometimes the assistants kind of do like a rotate, or like, okay, so this week I got this guy, and this week I got this guy, and sometimes I'll get somebody who's newer, and they're like, oh, well, Tony does it this way, and I'm like, well, Tony's not here. Okay, this is how we're doing it today.
Do I look like Tony? I'm not Tony. All right. Sweat your balls off outside or freeze your ass off at a gig?
Oh, bro, I'll take the freeze all day, because you can put clothes on, but I can't take my skin off. Okay,
That's true.
so I'll take the freeze all day. It doesn't get cold that often here. Like usually we'll get 2 weeks of winter and then it's summer again.
Oh,
So
you son of a bitch.
I'll take it.
Oh man. We're getting close. We're in September here, and so like the leaves are turning. It's getting down to like 50 at night, and I'll do a gig, and it was like 80 during the day, and then I'm loading out, and I'm freezing because it got down to 50, and that's like crazy. But I've done the cold one where I had to have like the hand warmers or like gloves on, because I did it. There's a venue in town where it was like October, like late October, and there's no wall. There's literally no sidewall, so it was just like the elements inside there, and like I don't know, like you couldn't even like move your hands. And I thought this party's gonna end early, but they were so drunk, they were good. They were peeling clothes off. I couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
So you definitely go for cold. Well, you don't even get cold. All right, how about this? Have a micromanaging planner or a passive aggressive photographer?
Give me passive aggressive photographer. Cause like I can deal with someone being an asshole. You know, I brush it off. People are assholes to me all day long. I don't care at this point. But that's why I didn't give a shit like about your video. Like I just
Yeah.
saw it and I'm just like, yep. That sounds about right. So,
Get in line, Aaron.
all
Get
good.
in line. Another
Don't
person
care.
that fucking hates me that I never met. Okay.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly how it felt. I was just all like, here it goes again. We're back at it. So like,
Oh,
yeah, I'll
that's
take
great.
someone who's going to be an asshole versus a planner who's just going to be all over your shit all day long. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to work with someone like that. So give me the asshole photographer. I'll take it.
All day. Yeah, those micromanaging ones, I can't stand when they're trying to push the timeline on you. I don't know what your timelines are down in Dallas, but our weddings are longer up here, and I'm trying to fix that with, you know, the way I set hours to my services. But there's nothing that drives me more crazy than, okay, speeches. Okay, dinner's done. Okay, do the grand. All right, let's start the dance. It's like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not starting the dance now. What are you talking about? That's the thing they do that, because I know what's going on. They just want to go home. So do you usually have a
Mhm.
planner working
Yep.
there, or is that part of, I'm guessing you guys are probably doing more high-end weddings, so is there usually always a planner there? Are they pretty chill and cool down there?
I'd say there's almost always a planner. I'd say probably like 95% of the time we got a planner. And that might just be because of the price range for me specifically. I know when I first started, like it was like 50%. And sometimes the planner was the aunt kind of thing.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like the higher your prices for as your DJ services, the more likely they'll have the money for a planner too. They're usually pretty chill. There's a handful that are very type A and like really on it. And, you know, I know who those people are. So if I show up to an event and that's the person, like my mood changes and I'm like, I'm locked in, you know? And then other times I'm doing me and I'm doing what works for me. And, you know, obviously they're going to come up and say, hey, we need to do this. We're changing this. I'm like, cool, I got it. But then if it's that one planner who's just like crazy, you know, like, ma'am, yes, ma'am, I will do the thing. Anything
I
for
got-
you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, I'll go sweep the floor. All right, yeah, that's definitely my goddamn job. Oh, Christ. All right, last question for you. Is there any, I will ask this one and then I'll wrap up with this one. What did you think of that controller I showed earlier? The that reloop. Did you see that thing? Have you
I did.
Peek at that at all? What
I
do you think of
did. Yeah, it was basically a mixer without jog wheels, and I think you said Layback Luke was using it or something like that, or he made it.
He helped
or
develop it.
something?
There was a mixed loop version 1, and then he was using that, and he goes, man, if it had this, and this could be killer. So his story is pretty cool. He said he actually reached out to them and sent them like a sketch, like, hey, I love this thing, but if you had these features, it would be even better. And then they reached back out to him and they flew him out to Amsterdam or some shit. And they were like, let's talk about this. So he's been working with them for over a year and all the features and developed this thing. So it's really catered to him. But I don't know. It felt like a really interesting piece of gear. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was cool. I don't know at what application I'd use it for. Because I got the S11 Rain 12s, and then my backup controller is the Rev 7. And then for ceremonies, I'm using the Everse 8 with the iPad and the controller that comes with the app on that. And so I'm trying to think like, okay, it's a cool setup, but like I just don't know what application I'd use it for.
What
Because
do
I
you
have
do if
lots
you
of other equipment that I'd use instead for things.
So if you have a venue like I was mentioning where your dance is in one room, so you have your full setup, your table, your your mixer and your turntables and everything, your main setup, and then they're like, yeah, but dinner is in this other room. What do you do in that situation?
In those situations, I do something similar that I would do for a ceremony. We actually have a venue here in Dallas called the Mason, where it's a multi-floor venue, right? And so upstairs they have like this nice fireplace and little cocktail area, right? So they'll usually do ceremony in front of the fireplace. Then they'll send the guests to the room next door, which is the cocktail space. And then after they leave the cocktail space, they'll go downstairs for dinner, and then they'll come back upstairs for the first dance in the party. So then we have to wait until after the ceremony to then flip, turn it into a party space, because their party's in the same room as their ceremony. And so when they're downstairs, usually what I'll do is I'll set up a similar setup to what I had for ceremony, or even the same setup, since I have that cocktail hour window. I'll bring the speaker down there. I'll use the DJI microphones for like toasts and stuff like that. I can play music from my iPad and stuff like that. So, I mean, it sounds great. And the room in there is not like super big or anything. So you can just rock the one in the corner, and
The Everse
it
8
usually
does
fills
it.
the whole
Takes
space.
care of it.
Yeah.
Everse 8's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
I'm
solid.
overthinking it. I know that like there's lots of those kind of places here, like you were describing, where you're moving from one room to another, or which is nice. I think it's nice for the guests to kind of change your environment, especially with a 8. I mean, imagine doing, I don't know how long are your weddings there. Like, what's the average?
Usually we'll go like ceremony starts at like 4 to 5, sometimes 6, and then goes between 10 and 12. So I would say usually it's around the 6-hour mark. 5.5 is usually where it kind of ends up being, though.
That's the best. That makes sense. No, here it's like 4 o'clock ceremony, last song 11 or midnight, and they'll want to start dancing at 7 or 8 and give you a 4-hour set. And it's brutal, bro. I mean, I feel it's not as fun for me, at least, to DJ for that long, for at a wedding at least, because I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but at a certain point, I'm like, I think I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you trickle out. Everyone's been there since 3, so it's like an 8-hour, 9-hour day for them. So by the end, you've got like 6 people left, and they're cleaning up the dishes, and they're pulling the vacuum out. So you're playing your last song, and you just hear, or they're rolling tables past you, like over your chords. I'm like, what the fuck, So
Like, can I turn this off already? I had an event like that recently, where like they did a fake send off, and then they wanted to come back for 30 minutes more of dancing, and I'm just like, they're gonna leave. What do you mean? I could be the best DJ in the world. They're gone. They're outside. It's midnight already. They're gone, bro. They're gone.
You triggered their go home sense. You've triggered the whole like, oh, it's a send off. That's it. I got my coat on. We're done. And they went, no, come on back in here. I'm gonna play some Usher. And they're like, no. Is there any food? Oh, also the bar's closed too, by the way. The bar's closed. Yeah. There's no more food, and the lights are on. Anybody want to come in here and dance? So, no. Drives me nuts. Last thing, any gear on your radar that you're like chomping at the bit, or your mouth is watering for, or anything recently you bought and you're like, God damn, I love this thing.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I just built a new audio rack that I'll be bringing to one of my weddings this month. I got the brand new QSC Touch Mix in there. I got my microphones, obviously. I got a Furman finally. I got what else is in there? Oh, I also got some of those new 360 tubes from both.
Yeah.
Rick sent me some of those tubes, so I'm testing them out. I bought one of those Control Ones, the controller for the sound switch. So been messing around with that. And that's like also built into this audio rack too. So this is gonna be like my hub for my assistant. I'm just gonna get a chair. They're just gonna sit there, and then they get the QC Touch Mix, and then the Control One like right there on a shelf. And so they'll just be able to do all the things, and then I'll connect it to the booth. So if they gotta do something, they can do it, but it'll also do its own thing through the sound switch. So I'm super excited to try that out for sure.
Yeah. You'll love the Touch Mix.
yeah.
Have you used it before?
I've used it before, but this is the first time where it's like mine kind of thing. So I'm really excited to like mess around with it. I've messed around with like the Feedback Wizard before, and all those kind of things. So just want to kind of get the kinks out and mess around with it. And
the app,
all the
because it's
things.
on Wi-Fi and not Bluetooth, the fact that you're going to be able to walk around your room and like dial in your sound or during speeches, like mess around with it. I'm telling you, I can't. I just you heard me earlier. I just bought my second one because I can't live without it. It's one of the. It's old too. It's like 2014. You know that, right? It's like an old ass
Yeah.
mixer, and you think to yourself like, come on, QSC, like update. Like they're like, why the fuck we need? You guys are still buying.
Why do
it.
we need to?
Why-
It's
You
still
assholes
great.
are still buying it, and this works great. It's over 10-year-old mixer, and I'm with you. It's like if it's don't broke, don't fix it. I'm knocking on wood, but I have never had an issue with it, except for the Wi-Fi dongle went out once, and I messaged them. They sent me another one. They sent me one.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, I
only
heard
problem I've
they were
ever had.
having issues with that little Wi-Fi thing, and they said they like in the newer version or whatever, like the ones they send out now have like a different like connector,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
supposed to be like better or something. So
Yeah, I've had
I haven't
that
even
one for a year
connected
now.
my iPad to it yet, so I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna have so much fun, dude. And I have mine. I mounted it actually into my DJ booth, so everything is there. I have the Danny Max, and I just kind of put it on top of the stop, and I drop XLRs down the bottom, plug them in my speakers. Done, ready to roll.
And you're
You'll
done.
love that thing. You'll love
And
it.
you're done. So I got one question for you.
Oh,
Jack
okay.
mentioned this to me. Blackjack or roulette?
Oh, damn it. Blackjack. Yeah. I maybe the odds are a little bit better. I feel like I have a little bit more of a say.
You have a
so
little
I'm gonna-
more control, yeah.
just
Not
a
much, but you
little.
have a little.
Just that spinning that ball around, you're just like, okay, well, I hope it, you know what I mean? And so at Midwest DJ Live, I don't know if you've ever been to that show or not, in
I have.
Milwaukee. You have? Okay. They were you there when they did the casino night?
I was there 2 years. I was there when Nick was the speaker.
Oh, okay. So did that do? I don't think
So
they did
not this
casino
past
night.
year. I think it was the year before. I can't remember how long ago that was.
That may have been 2 or 3 because they do a casino night and they turn the whole upstairs room into blackjack, roulette, craps, like all that stuff. It was fun as hell, dude. And they just give you like fake amount of chips. But yeah, I feel like with blackjack, I can all right, hit me, let's go, and you just have more of a shot than that little ball. What about you?
I kind of teeter between them. You know, I usually end up playing just blackjack. But when I'm with Jack, like we gotta hit roulette. Like we
Look at him.
gotta
He
hit
just says,
roulette.
"Screw you guys." He must be. Is he a roulette guy?
He is roulette. He is roulette.
The other thing is though, I'm not a gambler. I hate the idea of handing my money over to somebody and not getting anything back. Like it never. I know it can be fun. Like I like playing poker. So if it was between the two, like I love playing poker. But going to a casino, that's funny. I went there one time, a real casino, and I sat down at the poker table and I felt like a badass. I sat down with $100 of chips. And I'm like, all right, let's go. I watched a lot of World Series of Poker on TV. I know what I'm doing. Right. And they started dealing them out. And then I was so readable. It was probably
They
so
just
easy
knew.
for these guys.
They've been
just
playing for so
fucking-
long.
They knew, like, look at this guy. Bro, I was out in probably 10 minutes. I flipped up my cards and I didn't want it. So I was like, all right, I fold. As I flipped my cards, the one flipped over on the table. And they were like, 2 of clubs. I'm like, oh my God. I looked like such an asshole. And then I just totally bluffed my last hand because I'm like, I'm going to go. I just was bluffing and I lost. I was on that table for like 2 minutes and out. And that was it. I'm like, that's the quickest $100 I ever spent. Won't do it again. I can't do it. Are you a gambler?
Just by your face, they were all like, "Oh, he's got an ace and Ace and an
They-
8. I just know. They just know what he
Exactly.
has. It's just crazy. But you just got to remember, bro, like 99% of gamblers quit before they hit big, man. So like if you're down in the dumps, just double down and you'll
Okay.
win back. Promise. 99%
My wife's
of the
gonna
time,
love
it'll
that
happen.
advice. My wife will love that advice. Aaron, you're down. Honey, I gotta win back what I lost. I'm gonna win back. It's all right. I just gotta get another 100. I'm
It's
out.
about to hit.
It's gotta be my time, baby. Let's go. It's my time. Oh man, dude, thank you so much for doing this. This was a fun hang. I hope you had a good
Yeah,
time
bro.
too. Why don't you guys all give a little shout out to Justin for jumping back on? Beef squashed. It's over. One less hater out there, bro. Does that feel good? Just know, like from this show, you probably got 3 more. No, I have a good crew here. These are good people. I got good people that hang out. Let's get that like up to 50 if you had a good time here. And say thanks to Justin for being here on the show, everybody. Bro, when am I gonna see you? Are you going to a show? You got an upcoming DJ show you're going to? Or what's your next thing you're hanging?
I mean, I usually end up going to Mex because it's so cheap. So I usually end up going there. I think I might go to Midwest next year, possibly.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna go to DJX next year.
Did you go this year?
I did. It's so far. You know, you got to take like connecting flights, or you got to take the flight and then the train. Like all these things. Like it's just such a pain. And then it's also expensive as hell too. So like I don't know if I'm gonna go next year.
I
We'll
skipped
see.
this year.
This could always change.
I just felt like nothing against it, but I just felt like there was no allure for it for me. There was nothing like, oh God, I gotta be there for this. You know, other than
Yep.
a lot of you guys go. I mean, that was it. It was just like this a big hang. But I'm with you. Like, dude, I gotta take an Uber from Philly to AC, and that's
Oh, bro, you gotta take the train. It's like $6.
Oh, for real? Oh, the train.
Yeah, there's a train. You can literally you land in Philly, right? You land in Philly, and there's a train that takes you from the Philly airport to the Philly train station, and then you get on another train that takes you from the Philly train station to Atlantic City, and it's like $15 total just for the train.
Well, how long's the ride? Like 6 hours or something? I don't want to be.
Oh, it's like an hour and a half. It's not that
Okay.
bad.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll take. I'm sure maybe do. Oh yeah, they're saying here the train rocks, dude. It's an experience. All right. Okay. The train. It's an experience. Part of this. It's part of the fun. It's part of the charm of DJX. All right. Cool. So you guys can see Justin. Find him on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Right. I know you're doing gig logs now, and where are you most active? Would you say? Or on all of them? What do you put your most effort into?
I mean, I try and be active on all of them. Like I would say, like if you're trying to talk to me, you can always just shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll respond to you next year, guys. So it's probably the best spot.
There it is. That's how it all ties together. Thank you so much, bro, for being here. All right, see you, man. Thank you so much.
See you, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. All right, there we go. You guys saw it. Squash the beef. Yeah, if you want to get a hold of him, what did we learn today? You want to get a hold of Justin the DJ? Don't hit him up on Instagram because he's too popular. All right. Had a lot of fun today. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being here. We'll be back next week, but make sure you follow him on all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Toodles.